Welcome to CTV Sports. I'm Dale Schwetz with Steve Lane, and we're live from the Grand Champions Polo Club. We're back at the Santa Rita Polo Farm on the Buenos Aires field today for our first semifinal of the Aspen Valley Cup. And what a perfect day to play the semifinals of the Aspen Valley Cup, because it is a very chilly day here in Southern Florida. As you can see, we're all bundled up. The players have been out here warming up, and I know they want to get going. So we got Gaston Dorniak and Roddy Matthews, our mounted officials, ready to go. So let's go to the player introductions and to Steve Lane.
Thank you, Dale. Yeah, first semifinal game of a doubleheader today, and the team in yellow, Dundas 2, playing number 1, Cable Magnus. At number 2, Romero Retes, and number 3, Once Oliveira, and playing back, Geronimo Obregon. For Loudmouth, the team in blue, playing number 1, Scott Sobero. Playing number 2, Nick Manifold. Playing number 3, Chris Campson. And closing the back door, Michael Armour. Umpire Roddy Matthews puts the ball on the ground and to the players. And here we go. The first to get to it right here is going to be Geronimo, but he's ridden off out of there by Manifold. Manifold with a near side back shot. And now, Once Oliveira, Chris Campson come together. Romero turning that ball back around, followed up here by Geronimo. Geronimo taking his time, sending players downfield. They're going to fan out. He's going to choose the left-hand side, looking for Cable Magnus over there, but unable to get to it. Chris Campson's coming across as well, and so is Geronimo Obregon. And Geronimo now has to allow Campson to clear. He didn't lose his turn, and now the umpires say, use it. That's your one tap, and he shoots that ball downfield. Manifold looking over his shoulder right here. Manifold being harassed in there by Oliveira. Manifold looking to get a little flip pass over to Campson, and that ball off the horse of Once Oliveira, and a quick whistle to begin with.
Well, we'll get our first penalty of the day here with 6:36 on the clock. And not just a chilly day here in Southern Florida, Steve, but we got the clouds covering the sun, so that's making it a little bit cooler. And so remember, our second semifinal will be at 3:30 today on our YouTube channels, and that's going to be over at the Grand Champions Polo Club. So we're at the Santa Rita Polo Farm this morning. We'll be at the Grand Champions Polo Field 4 at 3:30, and it looks like we are going to get a right-of-way violation, and I like this, moving the ball early. So they're going to move that ball a good 100 yards, 120 yards to the center. And this guy's been fabulous, probably one of the biggest hitters and playing at the highest level here, Chris Campson.
Campson dribbles that ball for the first time. Once Oliveira staying back there with him. Campson now trying to get around Oliveira. Going to take the ball, a little cat and mouse going on, take the ball to the right-hand side. That puts Oliveira on his near side. So Chris Campson working that ball down towards the corner of the field, and Once Oliveira in there as well. Got his mallet in the air, looking for room to come through. And now Manifold in there. Campson bringing that ball out of the corner, trying to take it back across the field. He's got 3 yellow jerseys right there between him and the goal. And now Campson puts it into a pony. And now Campson comes back in front of Geronimo Obregon, and we've got a whistle. And we'll see the umpires, and it looks like they are going to come to center field one more time.
All right, so there you go. Shoes on the other foot as we get a penalty now in favor of Dundas 2 in the yellow. And these two teams, they did not see each other. They did not play against each other through our regular play, our 3-bracket system. And so I got a feeling, Steve, these first two chuckers going to be a lot of feeling each other out, kind of, checking out different plays and, working it out, because they've had the opportunity to go to CTV Sports and watch the videos that we talked about, the reviewing the videos. And remember, always stay with us during our halftime and at the end of the game, as we'll have our stats in line for you. But this was going to be another right-of-way violation. They'll go to the center for the 5B, and it's going to be Cable. Wow, rocking this one.
Magnus sending a long ball down the field, looking for Manifold, but it's backed out of there by Campson. Picked up now by Michael Armour. Michael Armour unable to keep it going, and Manifold and Armour a little bit hard to tell. But now Michael Armour's coming back with Romero Retes, and here comes Geronimo Obregon, unable to make contact with that ball, and now he's coming back, trying to turn things back around. Manifold coming in there as well. And now Obregon shoots towards goal, and Michael Armour back there with Dundas, and that ball is right on through. So the first goal of the game in favor of yellow. So Obregon looking for that window to shoot, finding a teammate up front. And what a great goal right here by Dundas. And you see right here where Obregon shoots towards goal, and he's up there with Cable Magnus. Cable Magnus just dragging that ball right on through. So first score here goes for Cable Magnus in chucker number 1. So umpire Matthews and Dorniak bring him back towards the center, and Matthews having to pick up a little debris on the field. Dorniak puts the ball in play, and Chris Campson, he's known for winning bowl-ins, but he's going to get a whistle for his efforts right here. So a quick whistle out of the bowl-in, coming out the back door, and 4:37 on the clock, and
interesting play there. Huh? Cable starts off at the 5 and actually finishes it off. So showing you the development of the Dundas 2 team, and great rotation. So we are going to get a talk of ball placement. We're going to go down to the 60-yard mark for a penalty 4. As we might as well, remember, while we move the way we moved the first ball, you might as well move everything now. Right, Steve? That makes it easy.
3 C's of umpiring: consistency, confidence, and control.
Oh, yeah.
And then they threw a fourth
C's.
one in there, courtesy.
Courtesy?
Which everybody's courteous until they put their left foot in the stirrup.
Yeah, you got that courtesy. You love that one.
Yeah.
That should be the number 1. Actually, we've had great sportsmanship and competitive poll here to start out our 8 goal in our 2023 season here at the Grand Champion Polo Club. So we'd like to welcome everyone to CTV Sports for our whole season, as we will be playing everything from 6 goals to 26 goals, World Polo League, fifth year. And, last night, Steve, I did a lesson with Juan Bellini. The polo school is in effect, so if you want to learn how to play, and, man, it was fun seeing all the pros out here. They're all getting ready to go. So here we go. Cable.
Magnus hits one along the ground and is tried to be stopped there by Geronimo. He takes a little back shot, but unable to put it between the uprights. So a knock-in coming right here for Chris Campson and the team in blue, Loudmouth. Campson going to dribble it right across the goal. Followed up, look at the umpire right in position where they're supposed to be, right behind the player. Now Campson releases the ball downfield, looking for Michael Armour. It's picked up on the near side right here by Michael Armour. Michael Armour letting that horse pick him up and put him down. Cable Magnus right there with him. The 4 and the 1 marked up just as they should be. Over into the corner, Michael Armour with a back shot, keeping the ball on the field. And now Juanse Oliveira is going to come into play and take that ball over to the boards. Looks like Romero Reite's headed downfield, and Geronimo Obregon coming into the party as well. And now a quick whistle over there on the side, and we'll see what the umpires call.
Yeah, I like the confidence here, and I like this ability to put the pressure on Campson. And if you've watched any of the games, you know this guy. He has been on fire, Chris. So you need to put the pressure on him. Great run by Michael Armour. So good to see Michael getting involved early. As Michael, he does a lot of work for this Loudmouth team. If you watch any of their earlier games, they are being coached also by his father, Red Armour. And Red, high goal levels at everything. Polo, umpiring, you name it, he's been there. So what a great guy to have coaching. And good seeing Red out here. And they've been using that ball. That was the other day. I was laughing, Steve, and I was umpiring the game. I could hear Red telling them, back the ball. And then they turn it. It was kind of funny. But then after the next shucker, they started backing it. Boy, and Scottsboro, he played very well at a -1 handicap, scored 5 goals. Now Campson with the 60-yard shot.
Chris Campson, it's high enough, it's long enough, and it's straight enough. Penalty 4 converted right there. First goal on the board for the team in blue, Loudmouth.
Yeah, Campson's driving the ball as well as he's ever hit the balls since I've known him, carrying his 6-goal handicap at a high level. And as I said, they work very well together as a team, Manifold and Campson. They know each other very well. Michael's done a super job filling in the gaps between them. He's a great rider. He's mounted very well. And then what can you say about Scott? as you know, we talked about it in the last game. You actually did the game by yourself, Steve. I was actually the umpire with Gaston Dorniak, but he made 5 goals, 4 from the field and 1 from the penalty line. For a -1 goal player, that is superb polo.
Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah, you know you're going up. Oh, we talked about all the -1s that we've had. Then, but that's a good thing to know. You know, it's good to see. That just shows you the quality of polo that we're seeing. And of course, the fields have been great. The umpire has been very consistency. To CTV Sports, we're feeding the technology into the game little by little now this season. When by the time we get to the World Polo League, you'll have the full effect of all the different procedures that we'll be using that we've put into effect. Steve, you being a big part of that, of course, and you know how we use the technology. We used it last year. Has done an amazing job, and the umpires are getting very confident, and they seem very comfortable with it.
They do, and you can catch it all right here on CTV Sports. And, hey, you know what CTV Sports is doing is foot golf now. And we've had some commercial breaks where we've shown a little bit of foot golf. You know, I went to Famous Footwear yesterday.
You buy some?
I wanted to buy some soccer shoes, and they were $129 a pair, and I asked how much for just one. And they wouldn't sell me just one.
I know, you just need the right foot, right?
Yeah.
I'll just buy the left foot. Well, you buy the same. We got about the same size foot. We'll buy one set. I'll wear the left, you wear the right.
All right. Sounds like
cool.
a plan.
Sounds like a plan for me.
And right now, the plan for Dundas 2 is to take that ball towards the north end of the field, and Geronimo Obregon sending Juanse Oliveira down the field. His horse getting a little bit sideways, allowing Chris Campson to clear. Umpire Matthews right behind, and now Obregon, told to use it, sends it over to the center of the field looking for Oliveira. Oliveira stops the ball, turns it back around, and gets called for turning right there with Manifold coming at a lesser angle down the line.
Yeah, Nick's going to jump on this quickly, and he reads it perfectly. And, of course, Nick. And so they're going to go ahead and there's the looks on it. You get a look. They take a look on it right here. As they come together right there, you can see the turn right there. And not even a half a length right on top of it. So that'll be a possession play in favor of Loudmouth on the turning call. So we've gotten everything out of the way early. We've got to move the ball a few times. We've got the turn out of the way, or one call anyways. And I figured these two teams, Steve, it was going to be a little dicey here, these first two chuckers. They're both very good scoring, running, gunning teams. So what do you do to a team like that? Well, you go defense. You go hard defense. You got to go to the man, very, very strong. And with going to the man, we're going to have a little dicey play. But KK from the center.
Chris Campson, he one-times it right down the field along the ground, and it's going to be met in there by Obregon. Obregon unable to keep it going. And Manifold coming back to pick up the loose ball. Manifold turning things back around. He's got Michael Armour out front in a little bit of a sword fight right there with Juanse Oliveira, and Chris Campson coming through, picking that ball up on the near side and sending it right on through. So Chris Campson coming in there, playing cleanup and scoring his second goal of the period.
Yeah, pretty similar to the first goal that Cable Magnus made. They started with the penalty 5 from the center, a 5B. And Cable actually started it and scored, and now, same thing with Loudmouth. Campson starts it. You'll see this all day long. Campson, he has a lot of faith in his players in front of him. He will use his team, and then he'll come in from behind, and he'll score a lot of goals with that procedure and that kind of focus.
Roddy Matthews bowls the ball back in, and it's going to be Nick Manifold right there. Getting the first touch on it, leaves it for Campson. Players headed downfield, and Campson sending that line drive off to the left-hand side. Manifold, Armour, Scott Sabero all going back, but it's Cable Magnus taking a man out, leaving it for Obregon. Obregon turning the ball back towards the inside, now trying to get a handle on it right here and sending players down the field. Cable over here to the center, and he chooses to pass the ball to Cable. Now, Michael Armour there as well. Michael Armour a little bit wide, couldn't get back to the near side. He would have crossed after the shot, but he finally gets a near side back shot off. Picked up by Manifold. Campson going to come back in to help out. And now Manifold turns the ball back towards the inside, the center of the field. Leaves it for Campson, and Campson picks it up, taking it back towards center. Michael Armour headed downfield, as is Scott Sobero, and now Geronimo Obregon. That pass falling just a little bit short. Obregon able to pick it up and turn it back towards the center. Right now we've got nonstop action, and Obregon sends a long shot downfield looking for Oliveira, but Michael Armour back there with a nice near side shot. Picked up there by Sobero. Sobero stops it, and Campson picks it up. So what a nice team play right there by the Loudmouth team, the team in blue. Our first horn has gone. Here comes Campson. Campson checking down. He's got 8 goals right there with him. 5 from Obregon, 3 from Juanse Oliveira, and a nice shot, but a deflection. Oliveira able to pick up the ball, take it to the boards. Time running out with 10 seconds on the clock right here, and now Oliveira coming down, and look at that nice play right there. Juanse Oliveira trying to get it to Obregon. Oh, Michael Armour broke it up behind his back, knocking the ball out of the air. There is our second horn, and that's going to end Chucker number 1.
We are in for a major dude match today. Wow, that was just a great series of plays there within 30 seconds, Steve. And just what a play. I mean, everything. Just great polo, Aco polo at its highest level. We love to see that. So this is going to be a fun one. 2-1 after 1. And we'll go to a little commercial break. And we'll be back here on CTV Sports for our first semifinal of the 2023 Aspen Valley Cup.
Foot golf is a kind of life, and also it's a combination about golf and football.
So I got into sport through social media. Someone approached me on Twitter and said, "Have you tried it?" I'd never heard of it at that point. So I went to my local course and tried it and just completely fell in love with the game.
This is not as easy as it looks on your body. It's a lot of kicking. We don't normally kick this many hard kicks in soccer.
For me, this and the U.S. Open are the 2 top U.S. tournaments. It's something we all look forward to every single year.
Great fun, and I think everyone will enjoy it when they try it. You can't not have fun.
When you set goals at the start of the season and you're able to achieve them at the end of the year, I think I can speak for everyone and say when we set goals and we make the sacrifices that we make, which a lot of people don't see, and then it all comes to fruition, it's a good feeling.
I literally live, breathe foot golf.
All right, here we go. Then very good patience there. Thank you to all the players. We had the cool commercial break. They're ready to go. As it is a chilly day here in Southern Florida. Dale Schwed, Steve Lane, calling the game for you today here on CTV Sports. And if you're just joining us here for the Aspen Valley Cup, we have Dundas 2. They're in their yellow jerseys and playing number 1, Cable Magnus. Number 2, Romero Moretes. Number 3, Juanse Oliveira and Geronimo Obregon, captain and team. 5 goals. And number 4 is back. Loudmouth with play number 1, Scott Sabero. Play number 2 will be Nick Manifold. And then you have, we got Michael Armour, and then you have Nick and Chris Campson. And after one chucker, 2-1, Loudmouth in the lead, and it was a great first chucker. We're looking for an awesome match here for our first semifinal.
So right now, Chris Campson puts the ball back in play with a line drive down the field. That ball over on the far side. Nick Manifold riding off Obregon, allowing Chris Campson to pick up the ball behind. And now Campson trying to get something going here. Juanse Oliveira staying back there with him. Campson didn't get a hold of all of that ball. And now Oliveira with the back shot. Obregon picking it up. Cable Magnus headed downfield. Chris Campson going to stay in waiting right there on Obregon. Obregon taking the ball off the boards. He's got a player breaking downfield, but Scott Sobero staying right there with him, and that was Romero Retes, and now a back shot out of there, picked up once again by Obregon. Obregon fakes the back shot, turns the ball back towards the center of the field. The player riding out the foul, not going to get the whistle, and that ball dropped by Obregon, but picked up now by Oliveira. Oliveira taking the ball to the right-hand side, shoots on goal. And that ball just wide to the right-hand side. So a lot of players involved on that Dundas 2 squad carrying that ball towards the south end.
Yeah, Dundas in the last couple of chuckers are getting opportunities to shoot a goal. And we'll check the stats at halftime. But that has been a huge part of all of our games, Steve. We've noticed that is missed goals and actual knock-ins that the opposing team gets to make. And we've seen a couple very good teams. This, I think Loudmouth, one of the teams, has had probably one of the most, I think, had like 17 shots on goal. So they know how to go to the goal, but you got to put them between those posts, and you got to be careful with these guys. On the move, it's Geronimo.
Obregon with a centering shot. He's out front. He's looking over his shoulder. He knows he's got time, but Manifold's going to go back and allow him to hear some footsteps coming. And Obregon, it doesn't bother him, though. He takes it, a tap. Another tap through the goal. So Dundas tying things up right here with a set of twos on the board.
Yeah, I was waiting for Geronimo to make his move. It looked like that first chucker, he was playing a little deep, and he was kind of watching. And you need to play like that because Campson's been hitting the ball so deep. And we've had a number of players hitting the ball very deep in this Seiko, believe it or not. We've seen some awesome goals between that 80 and 120-yard line. And those are just super shots. Geronimo Obregon's another captain who could get it done, and he will use his team out in front. Then we're going to line them up right here in front of Sonradi, and away we go.
Here we go. Chris Campson winning this bowl in right here. Obregon coming back, and so is Manifold. Campson turns the ball underneath his horse's neck. Legal play in polo, but now probably going to be told to use it by the umpires right here, and Campson tapping that ball around. And let's not get called for a delay of game here. Told to use it, told to clear on yellow, told to use it on blue, and Juanse Oliveira is being told to take that ball across the center of the field, and a turn and foul right there on the play.
Yeah, so Nick's going to get him on this one. He tried to get him on the first one. It was just a click off. But this one, he had him lined up pretty well there. I think Juanse had to kind of hold up a little bit to let those other two players clear, which gave Nick the opportunity to get right in line. Remember, the player following that player who's turning needs to be 100% on the right-of-way, and it can't be 98%. I've fought with Steve Lane for many years over that, but got to be 100%.
Got to be 100%. Yep. It was deemed it was dangerous to meet the ball at an angle. And on this particular play right here, you know, when that player turns the ball, he hits it first, but how long does it take for his horse's rear hind quarters to get out of the right of way?
You got it, because those steps going out are a big deal, especially for the mounted officials. Remember, if you see a player running down the field and they talk about it 2 strides or horse length coming in there, well, if a guy's going out quickly, and that's why horsepower is so important in the game of polo. If you have the ability to get in there and get out and open that window, extend that lead like Steve was talking about, get your horse's rear end out of the way before that player can close those 2 strides down, then they won't blow the whistle and you're off the guard. And, well, hence Adolfo Cambiaso and the top players in the world like Facundo Pierre and these guys, that's what gives them the ability to get out of the box and they can get away with some of those turns when they may look like a turn to you. They're getting out of there with a clean play.
Yeah, you know, in low and medium goal polo, sometimes you look back and you see your opponent coming 25 yards behind you, and then by the time you've completed the play, they're like 4 yards or 1 stride. And, you know, the window closes, as you've always said, Dale, and, you know, there you have it. Hence the whistle.
The problem with this one here for the Dundas 2 team is they're going to foul right outside the 60, so they're going to bring this one in for an open goal penalty 3, and it's going to be Campson.
Campson deadly on those open goal penalty shots, and that's one player that you do not want on the penalty line, and he converted some 4s in their last game as well. So
he only missed 1 penalty all the whole tournament. It was actually a short one. I was surprised. I believe in the last one, but only 1.
You're right.
And so then they pass the stick to Scott Saboros. Give it to the -1. He can do it. Give it to Mikey. He'll eat it. And Scott was like no problem after scoring 4 goals on the field. He had a really good game last week. So this team's tuned up. So they need to keep an eye on this Loudmouth team, but very nip and tuck at this moment.
Manifold calling for the ball downfield, and Oliveira heard that, trying to stay with him, and Manifold drops it right there in front. And Sobero with a back shot right over to, looking for a player on the near side, and now we've got another whistle in the corner over there, so we'll see where the umpires put the ball and who was wrong.
Yeah, that's interesting. Player might be able to get to play that one back, take a look at it again. I think they got a turn on there. They made contact, I think. It looked like Campson, and it's going to come right here, right there on the play, running and gunning.
Yeah.
So I guess they're going to go with the
penalty 5A awarded to Dundas 2. And it looks like Cable Magnus putting that ball back in play, and Obregon up front. He's got everybody up front. And now Magnus has to go back. He's got Manifold there. Scott Sobero headed downfield as well. A back shot right there by Retes. Now Campson picks up the loose ball, taking it back towards center. He's got 2 yellow jerseys coming with him. Oliveira comes in for a ride-off, but Chris Campson winning that ride-off, telling his players to leave it. I'm coming through, and Campson, just a 45-yard shot towards the goal, and Campson for his 4th goal of the game.
2 from the penalty line, 2 from the field, and this is an awesome goal by Campson. He's going to switch ponies here, and I like that thought process is because they are bumping him a lot. I mean, he is working very hard, and I'm sure that was a Dundas 2 game plan to make sure that they go to Campson and Manifold, who have been you could say the engine of the Loudmouth team, to go to them very hard. And you saw them have to go through 2 players there, Steve, and Campson did it like a bulldozer. He just pushed everybody off him and then shot it from 60 yards out.
Obregon winning the ball in, and now allowing players to clear, and sends a worm burner right down the field, but Manifold coming over to get it with a back shot right here towards the center of the field. Look at Romero Retes turning on that ball with a back shot, trying to break things up, and now Obregon comes into the mix as well. Obregon stealing the ball from Campson, and now towards the outside of the field. First the offside, then the near side. Still working that offside play, broken up there by Manifold. Manifold unable to end up with the ball, and once Oliveira comes through, but hooked out of there, and now Retes coming in there as well, and we've got a quick whistle down there in that corner. So the umpires getting their lungs full of air here and blowing some whistles here in the first half of this first of the semifinals today.
Yeah, dicey pull, like I said, you see, but good teamwork here by the Loudmouth team. They come together right there with Manifold first, then they leave the ball. Cable takes it forward, then they come around, then the ball's going right here. Campson's got a line on it, and you got a guy jumping in there on top of him. So I like this call right from the spot there as a bit of a right-of-way violation, shading, and away we go on the penalty 5, and Campson's going to drive this one. Look at this, 130.
A long shot down the field. Michael Armour coming in, playing the near side right here. Tries the offside, but hooked out of there by Cable Magnus. Scott Sobero coming in there as well. Obregon picking it up on that gray pony. Obregon quickly turning that ball back towards the inside. Going to fake a shot, and a whistle right there. A player, I believe, not clearing in time. The umpire is pointing towards the center of the field, so it looks like our team in yellow, Dundas 2, will hit a penalty 5 from the center.
Yeah, so this is a back and forth, like you said. I told you, I fear we're going to get some dicey play here. See if both teams clean it up. Now, the one issue has just been is the placement of the ball. Most of the penalty shots have been penalty 5s on both sides, but they have given up the 4 and the 3 to Campson. And Chris has been very successful on this case. Dundas pleading their case They want to try to move it, but they're going to leave it at the center here, and I like this ball placement. I don't think that one needs to be moved. They did do a good big move at the beginning there, but that's a different play. So they'll keep this one at the center and regroup. But remember, their first goal of the day actually started out with Cable Magnus. And Cable, Polo has just been unbelievable. This kid has gotten better and better every year, and he plays in everything. He plays in polo, beach polo. He'll go up to the 12 goal after this. I'm getting ready to see him play the high goal. Look at this shot by a Cable. And Cable on a 0 goal, A-rated, but it's going to be turned around, and after 32nd horn, it's going to be Chris.
Campson right there trying to get around Oliveira. He heard the first horn go, trying to gain some yardage here before the second horn comes, and Michael Armour right there on it. Backed up there by Sobero, and Sobero hits it out front, and Cable Magnus right there with a nice tail shot on the offside, and Chris Campson picking it up. He doesn't have much time left. He's trying to get around 2 yellow jerseys, but time is going to go out before he can shoot towards goal. So that's going to end Chucker number 2 with a score of 4-2. Here, stay with us. We'll be back for Chucker number 3, ending the first half, and you're watching live right here on CTV Sports.
Back to the action here, our third Chucker, 4-2. Chris Campson picking up all the goals here for Loudmouth, and he's back on the ball. Taking control here, they'll take it around. He's got it inside the 60. They bolt that ball in right about the 60. So keeping it down inside. Manifold gets it along the end line there, and looks like it's going to trickle out of bounds for a knock-in for Dundas 2.
Yeah, Manifold just couldn't quite get the angle on that ball, trying to get it back towards the center or over in front of the goal mouth, and going a little bit fast. A nice shot, but unable to keep it on the field. So, Dundas 2, the umpire calls play, and here we go. Dundas 2 in the yellow, and that horse having a little carburetor trouble right there, but Cable Magnus sending it right on down the field. Trying to find Obregon over there, but that ball falling just a little bit short. Now a back shot. Campson coming through on the near side with a one-time shot and putting it through the uprights. Goal number 5 for Double K.
Yeah, and there you go. That's that combination. As I told you, Manifold to Campson. They know where each other is every time, every minute on the field. Both using that near side back shot, near side neck shot. Super play there by Campson and Manifold. That'll bring us down to 6 minutes. And they got to be careful here. Dundas 2, they don't want this Loudmouth team to go in up by 4 or 5 goals because they get very comfortable, this team, and they can score a lot of goals. So let's see if they get it going, and it's going to be Geronimo.
Obregon right here trying to get around Campson. That ball, a little help from his pony, allows Campson to pick up the ball. And Romero right there with a high lofting shot and quick whistle right there by the umpire.
Now they all come together now. And as I said, still dicey. They come together right here on the replay. You can see it comes there. Campson backs the ball up in the air and then take it out of there right there. And then, then the Manifold just sideways there. Just bad luck as his horse's rear end was just over the right of way. He actually met the ball with his mallet on the line, but his horse is exactly what you were talking about, Steve, on the turn. If your horse is behind, then you're a foul.
Yeah.
He didn't think so, but.
No, he didn't. But you know what? That horse is taking up both sides of the line. As you mentioned, he's sideways to the line and the right of way. He didn't quite like the call, but I think he'll change his mind when he looks back and watches CTV Sports.
Yeah, he might be able to see that one on the replay. That was pretty. So they'll take it down to the their first goal shot penalty that they've had here in the first half, Steve. They've had fives. That's all they've had is five. So let's see if Overgon can get one here for Dundas too.
Overgon sends it along the ground and wide to the left. So an open goal penalty missed right there, and a penalty 3, and Dale, sometimes you're the hammer and sometimes you're the nail. This time they were the nail.
Yeah, they got to be careful, though. You cannot give those opportunities up in the semifinal and against this Loudmouth team because, Steve, we know how well they're mounted in the second half. And when they get comfortable, this team has been very, very strong.
A quick whistle over here on the boards. Manifold lined up for the ball on the boards. Overgon coming through. Just bit off a little bit more than he can chew on the ride-off.
Yeah, you got Nick's coming in there behind the line, and Geronimo just coming across the field is coming in there, and it does come off the board, but Nick still has the right-of-way. I mean, Geronimo just rides over the top of it. But I think they're going to go to center on this because there's nobody downfield, and that's just bad luck. I mean, as big as Campson hits the ball, but this is what I would be talking about at halftime, is I would have, if I was Loudmouth, Steve, I would be saying, look, Scott, stay downfield. See, they got Scott so much in the game right now. They're playing this round-around game. It's been such a grudge match that they're not lined out like they used to be. If they had them lined out, no center hit, good goal placement. Center hit. And so they just don't have anybody downfield. I mean, just bad luck. And like we talk about, like Melissa Gansey, when she plays in her World Pole League team, she stays down there. They move that to a 4.
Yeah.
You got to be there, though. You got to have a man down there. And you just can't have everybody bunched up and hope that you're going to get it moved 130 yards. You got to have a play set up. That's why the game of polo is such a chess game. So I like this ball placement by the mountain officials. And I'm sure Campson, or I know Red Arm will be over there saying, guys, spread it out a little bit, get back to your regular game, because that would have been an easy move for them. And then you got Campson hitting a 4, and he's been awesome.
If somebody was down there, as you mentioned, and you know what, but yeah, and on that particular foul, you have to ask yourself, does that deserve a penalty 4, which is a shot on goal? And to me, my professional opinion, the answer would be no, it does not.
I agree. It's on the board, they're shutting it down.
And now Campson fakes a full swing, still working behind Oliveira. Campson trying to get around Oliveira. And now the whistle finally goes, and Oliveira slowing things down, and the umpires blow a blocking foul right there against Oliveira. Dundas 2. So now an open goal coming for the team in blue, Loudmouth.
Yes, as you get the foul right here early, right there is where you get the foul. Not there. They actually had a turning foul afterwards, so either or. But they called like Steve said, they called the blocking foul first. And Campson taking control there. And now he'll get an opportunity at his third goal shot penalty here in the first half. Up by 3 goals here. And Steve, this is why I said you got to be careful of. They're going to get that 4 or 5 goals. And then this team gets very, very, just in a groove. Campson using the old putter stroke, and it's working well for him.
So Campson converting that penalty 2 for his 6th goal of the game, scoring all of them, 3 of them on penalties, 3 of them from the field. And, Dale, we can talk about how these teams got here. 7 teams in the tournament, ranked 1 through 7. And actually there was a question between the 4th and 5th place team, and that was between Oria and Dundas 2. So they had a shootout yesterday morning, and Dundas 2 winning the shootout, and that puts them in the 4th place position, playing against the 1st place team, which is Loudmouth. And we've got a quick whistle out of the bowl-in right there. Yellow comes together. Campson coming in for the near side. And we've got a foul and a whistle on the play, so we'll see which way the umpires call this. And, of course, our technology helping us out right there. So they're marching towards the north end of the field for a penalty 4. So both of these
arguing on 90 degrees, though. That it's going to be fun when they watch those. They're going to see that. I mean, hey, listen, I don't mind an argument, but when you're 90 degrees, you know those are easy calls for the umpires.
That call's similar to the one that Geronimo almost made on the boards over here.
Yeah, very similar, and the one Nick made when he took it out of the air.
Yeah, just coming in.
Just kind of, semifinal working. The umpire's doing a great job, staying very consistent. And but they got to be careful here. They don't want to get caught, on any technicals or anything, because this game could get tight. This Dundas 2 team, Steve, is also showing how they can explode, and they got to be successful here, though. Let's see if Geronimo can get it going on the 60-yard penalty 4.
Overgone high in the air, but off to the right-hand side. So not a great day on the penalty line so far for the team in yellow, Dundas 2. So Chris Campson will bring the ball back in off the back line. And now, Loudmouth players fanning out down front. Campson with a dribble shot. Oliveira's going to stay back there with him, put some pressure on him, force him to hit that long ball downfield. And here comes Manifold. Manifold on a fly right here. Tops that ball just a little bit. And now, Romero Retes with an attempted offside back shot. Juanse Oliveira picking up the loose ball. Chris Campson back there with him. And another uneven write-off right there off speed. So you know what? Write-offs being a problem right here for the first half here in our first semifinal game of the day.
Yeah, very physical game. We talked about it. You'll see it right here on the replay. Right there. That's about as uneven and hard as you can get it. Off speed, uneven, and bad angle. All 3 criterias.
Yeah, feeding him the horse's head right there, and the umpires are going to give an open goal penalty on this play.
I like that. I mean, this is one now, Steve. Why don't we go through it? We haven't had an opportunity here because, like you said, we've had such a clean game, but this is a semifinal game. Got to break this thing down because, the movement here is based on that danger.
Absolutely. The 4 factors that we've talked about when the umpires quickly go through their mind of where to place the ball. And, of course, the first one is danger, the severity of the penalty. And number 2 and 3, to me, are interchangeable, which is the location of the players on the field and the location of where the foul took place on the field. And right now on this particular play, Juanse Oliveira had nobody between him and the goal. He had an open field, so hence an open goal penalty. Location of the players makes a difference because, as I just mentioned, nobody between him and the goal, everybody behind. Had he had a pack of players up front, then you might think about a penalty 4, but based on severity and danger, an open goal penalty. And, of course, the 4th factor is how many times did the team or that same player make the same foul?
Yeah, you got it. If he's got a record out there already. But like I said, it hasn't been too bad, but we did well last night. We were talking about it. I told you, Steve and I, we always break the games down before we get here just to try to see if we can figure out exactly what game plan each team's going to use, and knowing all these young players and the importance of this game, we knew we were going to get a pretty physical game. And when we say physical, more defensive game, getting a lot of 4-legged athletes rubbing and racing, trying to win those bride-offs. And when that happens, sometimes you do get mistimed plays. So they'll bring this one in, and now we're gone with his 3rd opportunity on the goal shot penalty.
Overgone takes a little piece of ground with him, but able to put that penalty 3, 40-yard undefended shot through the goal. So narrowing that margin just a little bit by half. So score is 6-3 for the team in blue, and umpire Matthews will bring him back to the center.
Yeah, Geronimo's super focused on that one after his 2 misses, as you said. it's like a golfer out there, Steve, when you go and take that larger divot, so you make sure you hit that ball perfectly underneath it. He took half the field with it, but put it right down the center. And let's see now the Dundas, and that's just a great play right here with just under 3 minutes now. If they can get a couple more goals or another goal and get this game a little closer, but Campson on the steal.
Campson steals it and hooked on the near side, and now Oliveira coming into play, and once again, just coming back in front, had a near side play, and uneven, too far up front for that ride-off.
Yeah, bad luck here. Once he's got to go near side, he comes from right to left, and Manifold once again reading the play perfectly, and they come together, and so that's going to be another goal shot penalty in favor of Loudmouth as they'll move this one down. I do not believe there was anybody down, so you probably see a 60 here. KK, I'm sure, is going to push for a 3. And he's going to try to probably compare it to the last play, but they were different plays. As Steve and I were breaking it down for you. And as you can say, as I said, not much danger in this one. And so they'll go ahead and take it down to the 60-yard mark.
So, 60-yard defended penalty, one hit at, one approach. Umpire calls play, and Double K is going to put his horse on the correct lead, the right lead, and try and put this ball high in the air over everybody's head so it is undefendable. Here is Campson. Chris with a line drive, but off to the left-hand side, so a little trouble, and of course that wind blowing directly from that north goal. It's about in the 60s here today at the Santa Rita Polo Farm. And now Dundas 2 with a knock-in, a quick whistle.
It seems like 50 down there, Steve, and you're running into it. That wind, like I said, we've been catching that little breeze blowing from the north, but when you run into it on a horse that's running 30 miles an hour, that adds a little bit more to it. It looked like Campson kind of pushed that one a little bit, though. Kind of hit it a little bit harder. He hit that first one so well, and he's been hitting the ball so clean all day today. I think he just kind of pulled it a little bit to the left side. That'll take us down to 2:18 as we get another whistle on the play. And, man, this has been, I don't think we've had this many whistles in a half for any of our games here in our Aspen Valley 2023 Cup. They come together there. We got a little sandwich.
Yeah, I think a sandwich to begin with, and then a right-of-way violation to end up with, as those two came apart, the blue on the right and the yellow in the middle.
And this still could be trouble for him here because Campson is in range here, Steve, from now 80, and that's no problem for this guy. And he's been another one that we've seen, him and Matty. Okay, those guys, those two have been the long ball hitters. I think we've seen the best goals of the Aspen Valley Cup tournament from distance, anyways. And Campson himself, he actually's made a number of goals from that 80 to 120, and now it's sitting at about 70, 80 yards, Steve, you think, right there?
Yeah, I'd say about 80 yards out. And, Juan Bellini had a fabulous goal against this Loudmouth team, too, from the boards. But right now, Campson puts that ball high in the air. Hey, you hit the nail on the head. He can score from 80 yards out on a free hit, penalty 5A.
You got it. This is not the first time I've written on my sheet a penalty 5A for Chris Campson. The last one he made from 120, and it was a perfect shot. It actually was from right to left. This one, not too far off that near post, and actually probably worked in his benefit because his last 60 was to the left. So this gave him a little room to work. He probably could have hit the same ball at the far post and went right dead center. So well done, Chris Campson. That's the best way to seal the deal right there. Push his team back up by 4 goals.
Yeah, umpire Matthews puts the ball back on the ground. Campson, the first to put wood to that ball, and now releases a shot downfield. This team in blue has the momentum going. Michael Armour out front. Michael Armour unable to keep it going. Geronimo Obregon going to come in, pick up the ball. Obregon turns it back towards the center. Now he's got a run. He's got open field. He's got Magnus downfield as well. Wants a Oliveira breaking to the right, and Obregon sends it over to the right, but that pass falling just a little bit short. But Obregon able to pick it back up. 3 yellow jerseys down front, unable to take a full swing as he'd get hooked by Manifold. And now back shot, and we are going to have a timeout. It looks like an injury player timeout. Just a little sting right there, so we're going to stay live, and the umpires will check out Geronimo. and see what happened. But let's, we'll talk about how these teams got here. As I mentioned earlier, teams ranked 1 through 7, with Loudmouth being the first-place team, Dracaris being the second-place team as they were ranked. Dundas won, ranked 3. Dundas 2 and Oria had to go to a shootout for the fourth-place team. So we have Loudmouth, the first-place team, playing the fourth-place team, and then this afternoon the second-place team will play the third-place team.
You got it. And those are going to be Dracaris. It's going to be with Chayton Kishna and Joseph Schwartz, Leon Schwanke, and Brandon Phillips. I actually was sticking ball last night with Leon Schwanke, and he was super happy. He said to give you a big shout-out, Steve. He said, thank you for all the love on the mic. I said, dude, it's very easy to give you love on the mic. Man, this kid playing awesome. But him and Brandon Phillips with the Joseph Schwartz has been playing well, 1 goal. And Chayton's been doing great on a -1. He scored 2 goals the other day, so we're good looking forward to the Cars. But they're going up against Dundas 1, and they were the winners last year, defending they actually made it to the finals. I'm sorry about that. It was they lost in 8 chuckers, and Sarah Siegel Magus, Hope Ariano, Roberta Zeta, and then we're not sure who we're going to get. Are we going to get Dominguez, or are we going to get Cambiaso? We might get Mia, or we might get Juan Vidal Dominguez. So we'll wait and see, as they've been kind of switching up. Mia was going to play, but that'll be at 3:30 this afternoon for Field 4. Okay, big opportunity here for Oregon.
Geronimo with a high shot in the air, but unable to put it straight down the middle and off to the left-hand side. So unlucky break right there for the team in yellow, Dundas 2. So Chris Campson once again going to bring the ball in off the back line. Campson with a dribble shot here off the back line, and we've got our first horn coming here shortly, and Campson with a drive, but unable to reach anybody. Here comes Manifold. And Manifold taps that ball to the right, and Geronimo coming in front. That's going to draw the umpire's whistle. Since the first horn has blown, that will end the first half here in the first semifinal game of the day. So the players will go off the field. We'll start with a penalty shot when we come back for chukker number 4. But in the meantime, Dale Schwetz is going to break down the stats between these two teams here in the 2023 Aspen Valley Cup.
Thank you, Steve, as always. And here we go, 7-3. And like we said, this has been the most fouls that we've seen in a half. But we talked about it. 2 teams grinding out, young teams. And as always, semifinals. And it happens. So shots on goal, unbelievable. 9-9. And that's just, that just shows you. But here's the difference. 6 knock-ins for Loudmouth. That means 6 of those 9 shots that the Dundas 2 team made, they missed those, and that hurts. That hurts a lot. And they only had 2 knock-ins, Dundas, so good shooting here by Loudmouth. If I'm coaching them, I am happy in the tent, and I'm sure Red Armor is loving that. On the bowl-ins, even, 6-6, and it seemed like that from a naked eye. So fouls committed, though, not as bad as I thought. It was actually 9. There's actually 15 fouls, and that's a lot of fouls and a half. And I'm sure the umpires will talk to them when they come out. They'll tell the teams to clean that up because they have the ability to start moving the ball up if they have too many fouls. But 9 fouls committed by Dundas 2 and 6 fouls committed by the Loudmouth team. Now, here's another issue, too. On the penalties scored, the Loudmouth team, they have been awesome from the penalty line. Campson just awesome. You missed 1. And on the other side, they have missed a bunch, Dundas 2. So it has been all different types, all shots, 30s, 40s, 60s. And, of course, Campson making 1 from a good 80 yards out on the penalty 5A. So first half action here. We'll send the teams off. A very chilly day, but hey, perfect. Aspen Valley Cup, so stay with us. We'll be back after our halftime break for the second half of the 2023 Aspen Valley Cup.
far as barns go, it's 10 points.
The weather, the scenic views are unbelievable. To be up here in the mountains in this weather, I don't think you have many choices nicer than this.
I feel like we have some really competitive polo up here. It's friendly competitive polo.
The place is amazing. Good polo fields, good players, good courses, so it's a good experience. It's really good.
Club. They have empanadas there. They have Argentine-style barbecue.
I'm in love with this place. The club is really nice. The people is really good.
At least what I can see is that it's an amazing place to be playing polo with the family and with good friends, enjoying, and the weather is great. I can't complain at all.
There's so much to do up here, and people are great, and there's some of the best polo in the country up there.
And I think this is the place to play polo in the summer.
As good as it gets for summer polo.
This may be my new home.
And as soon as our child is old enough, she's going to be in their polo school.
Want to be a horse in that barn.
Welcome back, everybody, to CTV Sports 2023 Aspen Valley Cup. Dale Schwetz, Steve Lane, and we're live at the Santa Rita Polo Farm. And for our second half, and well, pretty easy first half to break down. I was really surprised that on the stats, Steve, that they actually have had the same amount of shots on goal, and so the difference really is just this shots that have been made. And the Dundas team just missing the goal. And, of course, that was where the knock-ins come in play. And the Loudmouth team was 6 knock-ins. So the Dundas team missing the goals 6 out of 9 times with their 3 goals on the board. And on the other shot, the Loudmouth team only missing the goal twice. So very good shooting there. And Campson been the man. 7 goals. He's got 4 from the penalty line, and one of them was a penalty 5 from a good 80 yards out. So at the moment here, Loudmouth in control. Second half action, if you're just joining us, welcome to CTV Sport. Dundas 2 in the yellow jerseys. Cable Magnus, Juan Oliveira, Geronimo Obregon, and Romero Retes against Loudmouth. Michael Armour, Scott Severo, Nick Manifold, and Chris Campson. They're in their blue jerseys, and it's been a foul-riddled game. Steve, 15 fouls in the first half.
That is a lot of fouls, and of course, a lot of those, at least 4 of them, going for uneven write-offs or too much speed, but the write-offs have been the call. So we started this period with a penalty 5A. Chris Campson was playing cat and mouse, and eventually Loudmouth fouling and a penalty 5A awarded to Dundas, and Geronimo Obregon putting it over to Juan Oliveira. Juan underneath his horse's neck, unable to get to that second bouncing ball. Cable Magnus coming on through, and now Campson flips the ball back to Manifold, and but picking up the line and the right of way is Juan Oliveira, drawing a foul against Manifold on this play. So Dundas maybe getting a little bit of momentum going here.
You better. They hope. They need it. They need to get some momentum going. And that, the good thing is, if you look at it, here's our replay. They come back around and boom, they're going to back that one up, and then boom, that's where you get your foul there on the turn. Juanse jumps on it inside the 60, so they're going to get an open goal. But if we go back to it, they had all 4 penalty shots. They had, not just penalty, at least goal shot penalties, 2 4s and 2 3s in the third chucker, and it was Obregon. Obregon only made 1 out of 3, so he did make his number 3, though. So he was on a positive note. Geronimo's a good shooter. So let's see if he can get the momentum going back here where it's 6:56 on the clock.
Obregon finds the sweet spot for that shot, and now converting that penalty 3. So a score of 7-4 right here in the early stages of chukker number 4.
Huge goal right there, Steve. And what I like about it even better, and believe it or not, most coaches, when you practice 60-yard shots, they actually practice them hitting them from the 30 or 40-yard line, even the best guys in the world. And that way they get you to hit the ball easier. And that ball was an easy 60-yard shot for Obregon also. So if he does get an opportunity at a 4, he'll have an opportunity to put one in.
Yeah, and that's just what he did. And out of the bowl end, Campson steals the ball, tries to turn it back around, and a right-away violation right here in favor of Dundas 2. And there was 2 yellow players up there, so we'll see whether they put it at a penalty 3 or penalty 4. Right here, I would, if they...
Yeah, you can't get a move on it. Yeah, I agree, Steve. This is one of those plays now, and we saw in the first half that if they would have lined out a little better, they would have had a few more balls moved. Here's a perfect situation, not just 1 open player, but 2 open players. And so I like this move here. And Steve had an opportunity to look at it again also on the replay. And the 3-man team working well together here. Thorniak, Matthews, and Lane, and helping to use the technology. Good job there by all our boys in the studio, the CTV studios, and big deal. This makes a big deal to get that extra move there. So here we go. Obregon going for 2 for 2.
Obregon puts it in the air and right on through. Umpire says yes. Goal judge says yes. So 2 quick goals right here by Obregon on the penalty threes.
Well done, Geronimo Obregon. This is the way the good players do it. You know, not having a good half, you just bounce right back. And both of these shots, once again, Steve, what I like about them is they're both 60-yard goals. So if he was at the line, and you are going to get a whistle on the play, so they should switch directions.
Yeah, they should. Loudmouth should be.
Yeah,
at the other
Loudmouth
end.
go switch directions here, guys, and it should be Dundas hitting, right? Yeah, so they'll put them on the other side. As the goal does count, guys, so you do switch directions, so they'll be hitting to the north. I don't know if that's I don't know, is that a new strategy?
It's one that I've never seen before, I can tell you that. But
I'm just wondering, maybe it's a new strategy just to try to, because it's not a penalty one.
I think
and you switch directions on the one, so I don't know what was going on there. He made the 60. Maybe KK didn't think he made that one down there.
Yeah, they were saying it was wide, but the umpire was right behind on that post and signaled it as a goal. And you know what? I've never seen that strategy. I guess if you were 7 goals ahead with 1 minute left in the 6th.
It's not a bad strategy.
Yeah.
Well, you never know today, you know. That's what we love about it. The game is evolving, Steve Lane.
It's changing all the time. And right now, Cable Magnus changes direction of that ball, allowing Geronimo to come on through. He's got a couple of steps on Michael Armour, and Cable riding Michael Armour out, allowing Geronimo to go through here. Chris Campson coming back quickly, but a little bit too late. 7-6, a 1-goal difference. Used to be 4, now it's 1.
Wow, man. I mean, you want to turn your team around. Well done by Dundas, too. I mean, you can't do anything but just give them love here. You need to give credit where credit is due. Now, I will tell you, it does help with those penalties. And look we're on a spree here that Dundas could be scoring almost 4 goals in under 3 minutes, Steve.
Yeah, you've mentioned that a lot, and this is one example of it.
Yeah,
right
they
here.
take this one out of the bowl in here. They get another penalty because they got 2 penalties early, and that's where they picked them up. And look at this. This guy's been awesome, and here he goes again, Obregon.
Obregon with 2 teammates down front. Cable Magnus going to drop in on the offside. Cable Magnus with a shot right in front of goal, carrying it to goal. Chris Campson right behind. Cable Magnus trying to finish it off. And a goal right there by Magnus, and now we've got a knotted-up ball game right here at 7 apiece.
Wow, they do. They get it done in 3 minutes. Well done. 4 goals in 3 minutes again. I'm loving the game is evolving so much to see that. We watched Santi Torres do it last year, but once again, right there, and I don't know what's going on there, but penalty run. What do you mean? He's running and gunning there. You can't put your mallet up, man. Come on. They're getting a little loose, I think.
Yes.
They better be careful, man. This team's playing well. They need to get back to their old school's play. There's a one. So that's a tough one.
So, a lot of testosterone sloshing in the boots out there on the field here today in this game. So, a lot of whistles. Umpires earning their money today. So it looks like this is going to be a foul shot in favor of Loudmouth. So both teams trying to help out the umpires. Umpires don't need it.
So they've been tough. It's been a tough game. A lot of rubbing races. Very cool game. You know what I mean? Two very strong teams, man. And there's been a lot of bumping. You knew it was going to be a man-to-man game. You got to play both of these teams this way. I mean, I like the strategy on both teams. You're just going to be to see who finishes here. Here's the guy who's been hitting the ball well, though. Another 120 there, but down in the corner. Let's see if Scott can get it.
Sobero going back to retrieve that ball if it'll stay on the field, and so far it is. And Manifold checking down with Armour right there. Obregon coming into the mix. Obregon, and we've had a whistle. We didn't quite hear it, but Obregon down there not allowing Armour to make that back shot. But we'll have a look on the replay.
Yeah, that's going to flip
Right
around
here.
now, right? It's going to look like it's going to go the opposite here now. Manifold down in front. So KK, this is the old Memo Gracita play. Just hit it down there and see what happens. You get right here. Guy got coming in and just reaching, coming in from behind.
Yeah, and that's one of the pet peeves of mine. We used to see that play in the II program a lot. And, Manifold, in this case, he has a right to follow through on his back shot. And since Geronimo comes in there and makes that play, stabs at the ball with his horse there, not able to follow through, so a foul, hence it's just like riding over from behind.
No, and well done. Great composure by Nick Manifold, just to stay there. He had nowhere to go. He was stuck on the end line. Geronimo getting a little bit overzealous there, I think. He should have kind of held him onto the end line there because he had him cornered, but he gets caught on the reach. And so they'll bring this one back. I think they'll bring it back for a 3, I think, because he's on the end line down there. So
I was thinking a 3, but it's a penalty 4.
Oh, they're going to go with a 4, huh?
Yeah, they're going with a 4, and probably because
no shot on goal.
No shot on goal, steep angle.
I got
right
you. I mean,
there.
that's a tough one. This is a ball placement we haven't seen this year, though. Well, you want to explain it a little better?
Yeah, it's kind of like the ball being on the boards. No shot on goal. And you know what? There was players between the foul where the foul occurred and the goal. So he would have to navigate to have a goal shot to get back.
You got no chance to make one there. I mean, I know Nick is good, but I don't know what shot you use there. That ought to be a toughie, wouldn't it?
It would, but right now, Chris Campson, he's got a shot on goal.
Oh, he's been awesome, dude.
And a penalty 4 right on through. First goal of the period for the team in blue, Loudmouth. So they're going to jump ahead by 1 goal right here, halfway through Chucker number 4.
Yeah, we got a match going now here at the Santa Rita Polo Farm, and this is what you want on CTV Sports. This is going to be a awesome final half, Steve. I'm excited about this because this was a game where Loudmouth could have just shut the door on these guys in the Fort Chucker here, but Dundas, too, doing a great job coming back, and now we're 1 goal difference.
So, Chris Campson going over to the boards to pick up the ball, and both teams narrowly not winning the bowl in, but Campson right now trying to get around Romero Retes, and Campson on the near side. Manifold's going to come in to help out behind him, but Campson brings the ball back towards the center. Now, trying to get around Obregon. A little shot underneath the horse's neck, but winning the right off, checking down, and he's still got another shot, sending it up towards the goal, where there is Scott Sobero and Michael Armour coming through there as well. And I believe that was Manifold scoring that goal. No, Michael Armour. So, Michael Armour putting his first goal on the board today. So, Loudmouth jumping out with a score of 9-7 by 2 goals. We were tied up early. Their second goal of the Chucker compared to 4 goals for the team in yellow, Dundas 2.
Yeah, and it might have been Nick. I think you're right on that, ladies and gentlemen, and Steve, because here we go. That's Nick right there, right? Yeah, that was Nick.
Yeah, that's
Nick and Michael, they look so much alike with their helmets. That does go to Nick Manifold. So we'll let Tracy down there. Tracy was actually saying, that's Nick. She was helping us out, everybody on CTV Sports. We don't want to take the goal away, but again, Michael Armour doing a great job. But now Loudmouth back to their flow, as we could say. So we're going to go and take a look at this replay once again. And they'll drop this one. We're going to take a look at it. Here it comes. He's going to come through here. Picked up there, bounced off a pony, straight back. And, I mean, can't get out of the way. You know, like Steve always says, the player can't just disappear. And, that's a big rule, Steve, because, I mean, it really cleans the game up a lot because that took out of the game a long time ago. Like you said, players hitting balls into players, putting them out in there and getting a foul. And so now, you can't just run a ball through a player, and especially if a player's not moving towards the ball.
Yeah, they can't evaporate, can't disappear, as you say. And you know what? We do not want to reward a player for putting the ball underneath an opponent.
You cool. It's the best way to slow it down. Look at this. On the move. Dundas 2 looking for another one. And, man, Obregon has come alive, Steve Lane.
5 goals this period for Obregon by himself, 1:31 on the clock, and this Dundas team has come out of the tent after halftime and done a fabulous job right here. So, excuse me, 4 goals for Obregon this period. And here we go.
Wow. Man, just amazing what happens in those tents. We got to start miking the tents. We got to get Fody out here. Jane Fody down in those tents down there. But there has been some great conversations. I love the way these teams have turned it around. And remember, this is 8-goal polo, and it has just been going back and forth now. They have opened up this game 9-8. They clicked down under a minute, down in front of goal, looking to take it around the corner. Here comes Dundas 2.
Obregon right here, checking down, letting that ball settle. Sending teammates up front. He's got Oliveira in the center. Cable Magnus in the center. Oliveira is going to now break towards center, a long shot downfield, but Manifold's got the number 2 on his back, playing number 4 on this particular play. No, that's Michael Armour right there. Excuse me. Michael Armour turning things around. No, that is Manifold. That is Nick Manifold. Michael Armour going for offense. Campson sees him, sends the ball down the field, but off to the right-hand side after a deflection. And now Campson unable to get back to it. Obregon does, though. Obregon bringing it back towards center, trying to get around Sobero, which he does, staying out front. Obregon with a run right here, 6 seconds left, just trying to gain some yardage right here, and a whistle on the play. And I believe when we come back, we will have an open goal penalty. Ending Chucker number 4, Dale, only a 1-goal difference.
Yeah, a little miscommunication there. I think they should have been maybe giving Nick a little help there on how fast Obregon was coming down that right of way. It almost looked like Nick was going to get there in time, Steve, on the distance. But like we were talking about, you can close that window sometimes. And that Obregon got his 4-legged athlete to jump into another gear. Wow, what a match we have. You do not want to miss these last 2 Chuckers. We'll go to a little break. And when we return with a 1-goal difference, Dundas 2 outscoring Loudmouth by 3 goals in the 4th Chucker. What a match we got. We'll be right back.
We're here at the Santa Rita Polo Farm where the PTF Polo ASSN Junior Tournament is being held for the first time ever at this location. And I mean, could you get a more beautiful venue? Probably not. The tournament includes players of all ages, starting with the youngest at just 2 years old and the oldest at 20 years old. So you've got all ages, all skill levels, and a whole lot of fun. Let's go check it out.
It reminds me of my days when I was in that position playing the kids tournament, and for us it meant the world. So I'm very happy to be here supporting my son and other kids as well, because I think they really enjoy this, and for them it's even more important than for us probably playing the 26 or the 22.
Well, that's a wrap on the PTF Polo ASSN Juniors Tournament at the Santa Rita Polo Farm. So much incredible talent coming up through the ranks. The future is certainly bright for the sport of polo. Now, for more information on the PTF, head to polotraining.org. And of course, head to Chucker TV for all of our awesome content, including full game broadcasts.
All right, here we go. All the players around here ready to go. As I said, very chilly day, but we do get the open goal, as Steve said. A penalty at the end of the Chucker inside the 30 seconds. Of course, they shoot that penalty, execute it in the following Chucker, unless it was in the 6th Chucker. And in this case, look at this. Obregon has turned it on, Steve Lane.
A penalty, too, tying things up once again right here at the beginning of Chucker number 5. So a close game. You know what? The momentum has turned right now. And as you mentioned, 5 goals last period for Dundas 2 and only 2 for Loudmouth. So Dundas 2 getting in the groove, now hitting on all cylinders, and they are in yellow. So umpire Dorniak brings them to the far side of the field where we'll have a bowl-in right here. Loudmouth has been very successful in winning the bowl-ins in their first 2 games, but right now a little bit even is Manifold. comes back to get the loose ball, trying to get around Magnus. Chris Campson going to come in and lend a helping hand. Campson on that gray pony sends a ball along the ground, looking for Michael Armour up front, but Armour being ridden off right there by Romero Retes with a nice back shot. Manifold coming in, slapping a back shot down the field, now picked up by Obregon. Obregon going to take it forward a little bit, by a little bit of time, trying to get around Chris Campson. Campson staying back there with him. A neck shot over to the far side, looking for Cable Magnus on his gray pony. Cable picking the ball up. Juanse Oliveira surrounded by two blue jerseys, and now Cable unable to get back to it. But Manifold does. Manifold backed up by Campson. Couldn't quite keep it going, ridden over the top of the ball. Campson with those long arms reaches out, brings the ball back underneath his horse's neck. Oliveira clears out of the way. Now Campson releases a shot downfield looking for Sabero, but Geronimo coming back, winning that right off on a fast pony. Now turning the ball right around on the end line on that chestnut pony. Now Obregon sends a high lofting shot down the field. Manifold looking for it in the air. Obregon takes it out of the air, now on the near side. He's got to jump on the nearest opponent to him. Obregon stretching that pony out, backed up by Magnus. Obregon was ahead by 5 lengths, now by 7. Obregon working the ball towards goal, and Obregon putting it through for the first time to take the lead today.
Que golazo, Geronimo Obregon. And that is a true coast-to-coast like butter on toast, Steve Lane. That's the goal of the tournament. I mean, turning the ball around on the end line, and not an easy turn, and then hits it down the field. Bad luck is it popped up in the air, but he just kept his horse running full speed. It is a great thing to learn. Memo and Carlos Cressida will tell you this. Sometimes you're better off just letting your horse just stay flat out running. He takes it out of the air, then he hits a bouncing near side shot, and you got to give love to this four-legged athlete that Geronimo Obregon's right now. This chestnut pony can mortally fly. And look at this, their first lead of the day.
Yeah, and if you had to have a best playing pony today, that one would certainly be in the mix.
She run beautiful. I'm telling you, he is comfortable, and you know exactly what he knew he had underneath him because he turned that ball on the end line and just dropped the hammer. But we got a game going here, and Campson says, get out of the way on the big gray.
Campson with a shot towards the center of the field, being ridden off there by Romero Retes, and that allows Geronimo Obregon to come in and slap an offside tail shot back to teammates, but Michael Armour there as well. Nope, that was Nick Manifold. And now Campson picks up the loose ball. He's got to get by Obregon one more time. He hits it over towards the center, working it towards the goal, and now on the near side, going to finish it off with a slap shot right through the upright.
Yeah, well done, KK. This is just good play, and I love the non-call by our mound officials. It looks like a cluster there, Steve. I mean, everybody just stopped. A lot of guys think it was foul, but the ball just was coming across. There was nobody on the right-of-way. Campson, he just stayed focused there, picked it up, but a great non-call by our mound officials. And, of course, any of our new viewers, a non-call when the umpires choose not to blow the whistle on a play that can be dicey, as we say. But Campson picks up the equalizer with 3:29 on the clock. And what a match this has turned into.
10 apiece right here. So, you know, it looked like Loudmouth was going to run away with it when it was 7-3. And how do we break these chuckers down? Well, it was 2-1 after the first, 4-2 after the second, 7-4 at halftime, and then 9-8 at the end of chucker 4, and we are tied up at 10 apiece.
Campson had 7 goals in the first half, you know, and now Obregon only had 2, and now they both have 8 goals apiece, 7 goals apiece. 8 goals apiece. Unbelievable.
8 goals apiece, 6 in this half, just in a chucker and a half for
unbelievable.
Obregon.
That's the amazing thing about the game of polo. What people don't understand is just how quickly you can come back. You're never out of a game. I mean, Steve, late in my career, I had an opportunity and be down by 6 goals with only 6 minutes and one time 5 minutes and came back. We watched Santi Torres score 4 in 3 minutes last year, 2 minutes or something. Exactly 2.5. Adolfo did it first, 3-2, and came back and won with a couple penalties. Obregon, they did it. They scored 4 goals in 3 minutes, with Obregon scoring 3 and Cable scoring 1, and they had 2 penalties. And so it's just amazing how the game can change so quickly. So you're never out of a game until, you know, you've got to play it all the way down.
You know, I didn't see Adolfo do that, nor Santi Torres, but we are all witnesses today. If you're watching on CTV Sports, it has been done by Geronimo Obregon with 4 goals in 3 minutes.
Yep, Cable adding the frosting on the cake, you say. And everybody seemed dialed in here. Both teams have definitely cleaned it up. Still a little sticky on the fouls, but definitely they've opened the game up, and I think a lot of both teams are saving some of the top 4-legged athletes for the second half today on a very chilly day.
Yeah, I kind of marked Oregon's horse when he scored that last goal as I'm going to be curious to see if we see it in the 6th chucker.
Yeah, you're right. Well, I think it's just got the air in it now. You're probably going to see it at the end of the 6th, I would think, or another one, but they all are coming mounted out this chucker, so it's been a very, very just one of these exciting type matches. And we're going to click down to 3 minutes here, and believe it or not, 10-10, both teams on their way to 13 goals. We haven't seen that in the tournament. Wansay on the move.
Oliveira tries to get it back towards center, tops it just a little bit. Campson unable to get to it, but coming on through, and now Romero Retes comes on through with a shot towards goal. That ball just on the doorstep, taken off by Manifold, allowing Campson to back him up and send the ball over to the far boards. Obregon there as well. Campson and Obregon to come together. Campson with a neck shot. Parallel along the boards, Manifold, enough room for him to drop in on that line and the right away. Manifold once again trying to find Sobero, backed up there by Michael Armour. Michael Armour sending a shot. Manifold able to pick up the pass. And now Manifold checks down. Oliveira could have check and wait on him. Manifold trying to scoot by Oliveira. Cable Magnus up front. Cable Magnus with a back shot, but unable to connect. And Nick Manifold going to carry it right on through the goal. So now we have a new leader once again, and that's going to be the team in blue, Loudmouth.
Yeah, Nick picking up his 2nd goal of the day. And it looked like it's bad luck there. And, did he have room? Well, I don't know. What do you think about that one, Steve? Take a look at this replay right here. Think he had room to make this back shot? Would have got called on the one if he hit it? Here comes Cable right now.
Yeah, I think he's got room on that play.
Yeah, it's one of those plays. Yeah, it's one of those plays that is kind of interesting there. So just to give a little insight to our viewers there, because a one does change the game there. So, but a good thought process there by Cable, a young player.
Obregon right now sends the ball on the ground to the left-hand side of the goal, and Cable Magnus going back as well as Wansay Oliveira, but that ball unable to stay on the field, so Double K will put the ball back in play.
Yeah, definitely both teams have gone to another gear, not just on their horsepower, but on their ability to release the ball. That has sped the game up tremendously. And definitely now looking for different options. I think they've kind of figured each other out a little bit, trying new plays. And it's going to be this guy once again. He's been working his tail off, Campson.
Chris along the boards right here, allowing the player to clear out of there. And Romero Retes just does that. And a shot downfield. Wansay Oliveira going back. Campson released it early with nobody home, but Wansay Oliveira with a nice open shot. Geronimo Obregon reads the play very well. Obregon has Cable Magnus out front. That's Retes. Romero Retes. He's going to the whip, trying to stay ahead of Michael Armour. Romero. Oh, bad luck, bad bounce right there. Armour going to Nick Manifold with a back shot. Now Michael Armour comes in there, tries to hook Magnus, and Campson going to pick up the loose ball. Right now taking it to the far side. Time winding down. Here comes our second horn, and that's going to end chucker number 5. So both teams on the fly.
Whoo, man. Well done, Steve Lane. We're going to bring the oxygen tank out for you as they've gone to the whole level. Wow. Well, we have not had a change in the weather. As if anything, it looks like it's going to snow today here in southern Florida. But this game has gotten hot. 6-chucker action, 1-goal difference. I am excited. Stay with us. We'll be back here on CTV Sports for our final chucker of our first semifinal of the 2023 Aspen Valley Cup.
There's something about when you get up early, prep the plane, and you take off, and you get that first light of day, and the air is crystal smooth. You can see forever. You have to have the right aircraft for the right flight with the right crew up front. Only NetJets can do this. the flight dissolves into the background. It should just be the here and now.
All right, here we go, and I love this. All the players are really ready to go. I want to thank all the players. They have been getting on the field so quickly today. They are so ready to go. We love that professionalism, and that just shows you how high quality both these organizations are, Steve Lane.
Both of them are well-oiled machines, and, of course, Red Armor coaching Loudmouth, and not sure who's coaching Dundas, but, Dundas 1, Dundas 2, they're kind of sister teams, I'd like to say.
And Dolphins, Dolphins helps out there, so, you always have Rosetta, they all work together, and there's just so many top players around them, and I got to tell you, some great horsepower. We have been really amazed by the 8-goal horsepower, and we're going to see more and more. There's the 12 goal stars, and we know maybe we got our WCT has been playing. So, like I said, if you do like seeing the ladies play, we do every Wednesday here at the Santa Rita Polo Farm. Polo school is in effect. As I said, I actually had my first lesson. I was so happy to be back on the horse with our director of operations, Juan Bellini. But here we go, 7:15 left. A 1-goal difference. Who will make it to the finals of the 2023 Aspen Valley Cup?
Campson unable to keep that ball going. Manifold comes in there to help out just a little bit, and Campson able to pick up the ball, sending it towards goal. Scott Sobero right up front. Scott Sobero drops on the line, and next shot towards goal. Successful shot, putting it on through. Sobero's first goal of the game, and at a time that they needed it.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Scott they have been covering him up, and I'm sure after the last video, the last tape, after he scored 5 goals, we talked about it earlier, you need to keep an eye on him, and they've done a great job. This is the first time that Campson's had the ability to find him by himself, and KK's done a great job facilitating the ball today.
Campson winning another bowl in right here for the team in blue. Loudmouth on that gray pony, going to check down. Obregon coming there with him. Obregon had a hard time getting around Manifold, and Michael Armour and Cable Magnus come together. Now Juanse Oliveira spanks that ball back over towards the boards. Nick Manifold dropping on it, sends it back towards the center. Obregon picks it up. Campson out front as well. Cable Magnus scooting down the field. Obregon backed up by Oliveira. Oliveira's going to take out Manifold, which allows Romero Retes to fall in the rumble seat. A nice shot downfield. Cable Magnus coming together. Michael Armour, breaks up and hooks Magnus out of the play. And now Sobero going out for a pass as Campson goes over to get the ball off the boards. Being harassed right there by Obregon. They have been together quite a bit here today. Campson, the highest rated player in the tournament. Geronimo at 5 goals, Campson at 6, and a whistle over there on the side, and it looks like we will have an injured player timeout on the write-off.
Yeah, they come together here, and this is going to be a good trigger. So we'll go ahead and run this one back. a few times from the studios here. Watch this play here as they come together. Now keep an eye on the number 2 right there. He clips Chris first, and then you get a ride off there. But we can get in touch. We'll see what our mounted officials are talking about as Geronimo took one on the leg. But it looked like Chris got clipped a little bit earlier on the defensive play.
Yeah, he got fed the horse's head just a little bit by an opponent, and this play right here.
Yep, so they're going to go ahead and we'll get our medics on the field. Always safety first here, Grand Champions Polo Club, Aspen Valley Polo Club, USBA standard. And just to make sure all players are all right. Now, 5:27 to be precise, 12-10 with the Loudmouth team in the blue, keeping their 2-goal lead. And as we said, as we started this out, they came out, both teams, 8-goal teams, and a 2-1 after the first chucker, and then 4-2 after the second, and it was 7-3 at halftime, and it was all Loudmouth. And we talked about our stats at halftime, and pretty much the difference was just missed shots. I didn't realize while I was announcing the game, calling the game with Steve, actually that the Dundas team had taken as many shots on goal. They just missed a lot of goals. And great shooting by Campson in the first half. I mean, he had 7 goals. He had 4 from the penalty line and another 3 from the field. And just super strong polo by KK. And then on the other side, it was Cable with 1 and Geronimo with 1. And, the biggest problem was just missed penalties. They missed a 2, a 3. They missed 2 penalty 4s, a 3. And they had another 5A that was in the area. But then they go into the tents. And I always say when they go into the tents, the locker room, anything can happen. And the Dundas 2 team, Geronimo Obregon, comes out and just was wild. Scores 4 goals, 2 from the penalty line, 2 from the field. Cable scores another one. They did 4 of those goals within 3 minutes. So great play there. Then Campson turned it around again, hit a 4, and Nick got involved, so that got him back on top, 9-8. They left the fifth chucker 11-10, and here we are, 12-10, and we are going to get a foul against, I guess I'm on that little rub there, the racing and rubbing play, where Chris Campson got caught by one of Retes with the horse's head, just trying to take him out, trying to make a defensive play. So they go to the center on it. They weren't actually making a play on the ball.
That's correct. And Campson hits the long ball on that penalty 5A. And now it's in the Loudmouth's end of the field. And a write-off right there by Retes. And another whistle is going to blow. And, Dale, this is about the 6th or 7th foul that has been just on write-offs alone.
Yeah, no, we knew it would be a physical game, and they haven't been really very dangerous, Steve. The only one we really had was the one behind the saddle that they moved up, and that was just kind of a missed time because Chris is a very clean player, top highest rated player in the tournament. He just kind of caught, I think Guanse was on a very quick pony there also, kind of stuck away from him. And but they did adjust the ball perfectly. All the other ones have been just kind of uneven or just kind of melee plays and just aggressive play by both teams.
Yeah, both teams feeling each other out. And right now, Chris Campson is going to send a penalty 2 to give them a 3-goal lead with just 5 minutes on the clock. So a 3-goal lead is certainly going to help out the team in blue. And you know what? Time is winding down. Dundas needs to put their foot on the gas and get some momentum going here.
Yeah, 10 goals for Mr. Chris Campson. So KK going to another level today. He's been scoring a lot of goals and now taking it to another level. And I like the way the Loudmouth has basically taken themselves and got their, they were a little bit under pressure in that 4th chucker, Steve, when Dundas 2 came back. But now they've gotten very composed and gotten back to their style of polo.
Yeah, so a whistle right now out of the bowl end. Campson, the first to make contact with the ball. Geronimo jumps on the line, and Chris Campson comes back over the top of the ball. So we'll have a penalty 5A for the team in yellow headed towards that south goal, and they desperately need to narrow that 3-goal margin right now. Umpire has called play. Here comes Geronimo Obregon. He's got Romero Retes downfield. Juanse Oliveira stuck in the middle by himself a little bit. And if Obregon could feed him the ball, this might turn things down just a little bit. But he sends a long shot downfield. Michael Armour going back. Cable Magnus going to give him the back shot. Oh, Armour unable to connect. Magnus coming in. Oliveira right there as well. Oliveira hits towards goal, but it's wide to the left-hand side. Able to keep the ball on the field. However, Chris Campson wants to take it further away from the goal. Now Geronimo intercepts, watches Manifold. Manifold with a shot across the goal. He knew right where Campson was going. Campson on the near side comes together with Geronimo. Juanse Oliveira picks up the ball. Oliveira trying to get it back towards the goal. Dribbling, touch, right through the goal. Oliveira putting one on the board, narrowing that 3-goal margin. Oliveira's first goal of the game.
Huge goal for Juanse Oliveira. Dundas 2, you needed a goal right here. I thought KK might want to try to take that one forward, but I guess he was going to get hooked there by Geronimo, so he went for the drop shot, and in which case Juanse was the next player there. But let's do the math here, Steve, as they're going to wait till they get to the center to blow, and they blow that. They stop the clock. To be exact, 3:10 on the clock, 2-goal difference, Steve. We've watched this team score 4 goals in 3 minutes, so they are not out of this at all. This game is far from being over.
Yeah, still anybody's ball game right here, and you know Bolin's a big part of it, and that's what we're coming back for. And now is when I want to look at Geronimo's
fresh
board.
legs. Here come the fresh legs. This is what I love about the Kersey change. This is where games are won and lost, and you know everybody's coming out on their top 4-legged athletes, so keep an eye on them. Pick your favorite. We love it. You know the horse, man. These 4-legged athletes, 80% of the game in some players' minds, and you can ask a lot of the top players. You sometimes 85, you hear 75, but definitely, you know, they will change the game. So let's see what happens here. It looks like Geronimo's coming out on a bay. So he's on a different one here, but he's got a lot of good ones, so we'll see what happens. But right out of the box, it's going to be picked up here by Loudmouth.
Loudmouth, Campson on the far side, checking down. He's got Oliveira there. Geronimo comes in to help out as well. Sending in Michael Armour forward, and Campson hits the ball on the ground, and that ball's going to run out of gas. Picked up there by Obregon, but he's hooked out of the play, and now a back shot there by Manifold. Campson able to drop his horse's head straight for goal, and is going to put it on through back to that 3-goal lead with 2:27 on the clock.
Well, KK picking up goal number 11. So super strong play now by Campson, and once again, you know, you got to give credit where credit is due, and this Loudmouth team has brought themselves back. They got a little loose in that Fort Chucker, Steve, but man, I got to tell you, they have just turned themselves around so professionally that they just looking like a better team than they were when they even started the game now.
Obregon winning this bowl in. He's got to get by Campson. Campson goes to the whip. Obregon checks up, allowing Campson to go to the offside. Obregon played the back shot. Unable to get back to it. Manifold comes through, hooked on the back shot. Obregon picking it up. He's got 7 players out front, but can he navigate his way through? Looking for an open window. They need a quick score right here. He releases the ball, but it's into a pack, and a player hit with the ball will have a whistle and an injury player timeout with 1:29 on the clock.
Yeah, so we'll go ahead and this ball comes through there, and they come through, and I think it popped up and hits Manifold. Oh, right there, a mallet, I believe. So that's a tough play. They're going to take a timeout here. So we'll go ahead and make sure he is okay. 1:29 to be precise on the clock. 14-11. And now that's a follow-through play, Steve. So what are your thoughts? I mean, I don't want to jump any conclusions on the call. I mean, it wasn't like there was any malice involved, but you need to be in control of your mallet 100% of the time on the field is the way the rule reads. But when you have a player inside in these close, tight matches, that can be very difficult to umpire. because of all the little chintzy fouls that we've seen. Like we said, we got to talk to Tracy, our scorekeeper down here, timer. She was going through and telling us how, she was marking her sheet. And also, of course, Ricky Rue in the studios taking our stats. We'll be able to see them. So make sure you stay with us right after the game, and we'll have our final stats. And this is a good sign. Good to see Nick okay after that play. Now, by the rules, you got to stay on the same horse, just to give you a little heads up. And unless, of course, there was an issue with that play in the horse and the umpires allow him to change. But for any of our new players that are playing the game, just to give you a little bit of the insight on the rules there. And I guess they're going to talk about whether, it's a blocking foul or a dangerous use of the mallet play. So it could be a blocking foul also, right?
It could be, yeah. Geronimo tapped that ball in, and that's exactly what they've got, and Manifold just didn't clear out in time. And, I'm not sure if it was the mallet or the ball. It was hard to tell from our drone footage. But
I thought it was the ball at first, but then they looked like they were a bit closer afterwards. But definitely was blocking. So they decided to go with the open goal penalty too, and it'll be Geronimo, and Geronimo's going to put that one away.
Yes, he is. So back to a 2-goal difference right here. So Dundas not out of it yet, but time counting down. And I tell you what, if you need 2 goals in less than a minute, this would be the time to do it.
You got it. 9 goals by Geronimo Overgon. It's a super strong second half. He had 2 goals in the first half, 7 goals in the second half, and it has changed. I love seeing a young kid like this at 5 goals who did not have a very successful first half shooting, just turn his whole game around. Just shows you how he's going to go develop as a player. Here we go.
Obregon on the far side, trying to put one more on the board here before the first horn. Obregon taking the ball towards goal, now trying to get by Nick Manifold, and he does so.
Oh!
So, and remember,
they get an opportunity here, Steve, huh?
Ooh, yes,
They're going to about, what's the time? They're going to have to come back now. They got to play, they'll play this out, but they're going to be real tight, man. It's going to be very tight, Steve.
If you want to look to the sky and pray for a penalty 4 out of the bowl in, this would be the time to put your hands together.
Now, Campson's out there telling them, do not foul, Michael, Nick, Scott, do not foul, make them earn it. They're going to get one here, though, with 5 seconds.
And right now, Campson and company didn't even go to the bowl in. They just let it go. And that was actually a good strategy.
Very good strategy, huh?
By them. And not enough time going as Geronimo did win the bowl in. So, Loudmouth victorious here today with a score of 14-13, a 1-goal difference. So Loudmouth will be in the finals. And who are they going to play? That remains to be seen, because you'll have to stay with us at 3:30 this afternoon for our second semifinal game between Dundas and Dracarys. And right now, Dale, we've got a breakdown of how these two teams ended up here in the second half of play.
Thank you, Steve Lane. Always a pleasure, man. And what a match that was. I mean, you are in for another one this afternoon. That was just fabulous. 14-13. I mean, it came back so well. Shots on goal once again. Dundas 2 with 20 shots, and the Loudmouth team with 16 shots. So congratulations to Loudmouth for keeping the higher percentages up. Missing goals, and there you go again. Knock-ins by Loudmouth. 7 knock-ins during the game, and only 2 by Dundas. So that's where the Dundas 2 team just missing the goal, not taking high-quality shots. So, they'll get that worked out in their next tournament. Throw-ins, 15 for the Dundas 2 team, 13 for Loudmouth. So pretty close there. Not a big difference in the game. Fouls committed, and they're going to go 12 fouls by Dundas and 11 by the Loudmouth team. So 23 fouls in the game. That's a lot of fouls. You don't want to see that many fouls, but this is the semifinal, and like Steve and I were talking about all day, 2 very young, strong teams, and some, a lot of racing and rubbing going on. On penalties scored, well, it was good. The averages went well. 6 for Loudmouth, 5 for Dundas. So well done by Geronimo around coming back. Camps are doing a great job too, and they scored from all over. They scored 60s, 40s, and 30s, both teams. So just a great comeback by the Dundas 2 team. Fabulous job by our umpires, No umpire wants to blow 23 fouls in a game, but sometimes those games do happen. But, you know, it is semifinal time here at the Grand Champions Polo Club. So make sure you join us at 3:30 today, where we'll be at the Grand Champions Polo Club. We're at Santa Polo Farm now on Field 4, so you'll get some great backdrops there. And that'll be a fun, our second half, to see who's going to face Loudmouth in the finals of the 2023 Aspen Valley Cup. For Steve Lane, I'm Dale Schwetz. I speak for everyone at the CTV studios when I say thank you for making us the leaders in polo broadcasting. And always remember here at CTV Sports that we love the polo.